Hi, my name's Kat Feingold. I'm with the Hydrologic Engineering Center, and we are going to take a quick look at the Zonal Editor in MetVue and what it can do for you. So, to start off with, we already have a project built and loaded. If you have not yet learned how to set up a MetVue project, you are welcome to take a look at our first video, How to Set Up a MetVue Project. Its link will be below. Additionally, if you require more information after this video, we do have all of the documentation on the zonal adjustment and zonal editor here on our documentation area, which will also be linked below this video. So you have your MetVue project already open up, and you know that you are going to want to make adjustments to specific areas within your MetVue project. What you can do is you can set up zones, which makes it easier to make these adjustments. It also opens up a variety of other options for you as well. So in order to go ahead and create these zones, you are going to open up where your active mapping files are, or where your mapping files are in general. And there's a button here, Zones. Now we've already added 3 zones to this. If there were not zones, there wouldn't be a little plus next to that to open a tree. But you are going to go ahead and you're going to right click on the zone and you're going to select the zone editor. Now we're going to add a new zone. Now this zone in particular is for the J-Strom Thurman reservoir. So we're going to call it Thurman. Now there are 2 ways that you can add your shape files into the zonal editor. Now you do have to have a map that has the areas that you would like to add to a zone available to you. The first thing you can do is you can see all of the available shapefiles on the left-hand side that you can add to the zonal editor. So you can actually click through and find the particular one that you would like. For example, in this case, Thurman Lake, and it will shift over here and you'll notice it highlights blue up there. The other thing you can do is simply click out here, and that will select the shapefile connected to that particular piece. You'll see it highlighted it here, and then you can just go ahead and click add and it moves it over. Now unfortunately in this case we do have a second one sitting behind it, which is the states files. So that is in essence how you create a zone. So we're going to go ahead and take just a second to add the rest of this information to the zonal editor, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now that we've added everything, we can click apply and OK. The other neat thing about the zonal editor, since you're already here, is if you're wondering what they look like, you can just click on them and you see over here that on your map, if you have a map open, now that is the caveat, you have to have a map open or a map added to your session in order for this to be viewable. But it highlights the areas of the shapefile that you have identified to belong to that zone. Then once you're done, you'll notice it shows up here. You can open up your session defaults and verify that everything is showing up properly here, and as well as in your maps area. So what we're going to do super fast now is we're going to add some data. We already have a DSS file loaded and ready to go. We are going to add everything. We're going to give that just a second. Luckily it's a small area, so it loaded pretty quickly. Now once this data is loaded, there are a number of ways that you can alter and edit this data through polygon and ad hoc operations. However, we're here to highlight the zonal editor. You'll notice once the zones have been created and data has been added, the button up here, which was previously grayed out, is now available to be clicked on, and the tooltip that pops up is Launch Zonal Adjustment Editor. It's going to compute and calculate everything real fast. And now it gives you the data that you imported broken down by month. So we're going to start with September. The month itself, September 2024, this gives you the total in each of those zones that you just created. So the total precipitation or temperature or whatever data that you have in there, it gives you the total that has occurred for that time period across your zone. You can also open it up and see per day. It has been broken down to each individual day down here. This gives you a lot of flexibility because what we're going to do now is we are going to edit the data. So what you can do is, let's say on that very first day you wanted ½ an inch to fall. So you can open up your first month, your first day, and you can go 0.5 and click enter, and it will recompute everything And then it's going to change that to 0.5, and you'll notice that your basin total changed as well. It also pops up this fantastic history option. This allows you to see all of the edits that you've done inside MetVue up to this point. Now, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do just 0.5 that first day. What I would like to do is I would like to get rid of that. You notice it went straight back because I had hit the delete button. We're going to just move that out of the way for a minute. What I really, really want to do is I would like to stress test my model and see what would happen if, for instance, there were 12 inches that fell across the entire time period in September. Now, if I change this, there's going to be two options, and it's important to note these before we change this. So let's escape and leave that back, and you can hit escape and it'll drop back to the original information. Let's discuss your options down here first. You have tree view, which is what we are all familiar with. You hit the plus, it expands everything out. You'll notice you can break it down by hour as well as by day. So that's your tree view. You also have the option for a table view where everything's just kind of expanded. In tree view, you can also expand all and get a very similar version to the table view. It's just not as uniform. In addition, and this one's very important, you have your disaggregation method. So as you are going to make changes to this data, you have two options. You can have it uniformly applied, which means it is going to take whatever amount you give it, and it's going to apply either to all of the hours that you select, or all of the days you select, or the entire month that you select, and it's going to distribute that total across that. So for example, this first day, the 22nd, we had 0.13 inches fall. And you can see it fell predominantly towards the end of that time period. Well, I want it to be 0.25. We have uniform selected down here. So what it's going to do here is we're going to click on this and we're going to go 0.25. And it's going to recalculate everything. And you'll notice it distributed across the entire time period that we have. That is not what I wanted to do, so we're going to delete that. It's going to recalculate and return to our original version. If you change that to normalized and you go 0.25, focus down here on where there is precipitation versus where there is not precipitation. So now that it's normalized, if you hit enter, it is only going to change the times that precipitation or the times that the event occurred within your data. So again, for this particular situation, we're creating a what-if scenario for an emergency management, and they would like to see, which is completely in the realm of possibility, what would have happened if 12 inches for the storm occurred across the 3 reservoirs and then slightly less precipitation across the city. So the 3 reservoirs being Hartwell, Russell, and Thurman. And we're giving 12 inches to each of these. Again, you'll watch as the information changes only on days where there was already precipitation available because it is normalized. It's also a good time to point out that you can change the precision to which these are all recorded. Right now it's set to 3. You can go down as far as 1, or you can go up as far as you would like. So for Augusta, they would like to see 10 inches have fallen across, which really isn't very far off what already fell there. Now, the other thing you can do is you can also adjust the all data if you wanted to add that to the entire time period. Our emergency management only wanted it to apply to the times in September. And then once that's complete, you can see all of our information down here. You can go ahead and close out. It now exists. And the best way to go ahead and save this off is we would like to save it to a grid. So we are going to save the current changes as a projection on a grid. We're going to store it in a DSS file. We are going to fill out our DSS paths, and then it's going to save, and we are going to go ahead and send that DSS file down to our emergency managers for them to utilize in their tabletop exercise. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to check out the links below for additional assistance, and we hope you enjoyed this little short on how to utilize the zonal editor inside MetVue. If you'd like to see more of these videos, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you'll keep up to date on any new videos here on the Water Management channel.